Shalom, Kohalo, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kudash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers that do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than never. The 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that look like those heathen nations. This is not a black thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with a lesson in truth. And nothing happens by chance. The Lord does guide your steps. We just have to learn to listen to the Spirit. And yesterday, one of my clients who I've known for years, and I recently got her back as a client after a long hiatus, after not seeing her for almost 10 years. But people have a lot of questions, and she even remembers way, back then that I always had spiritual conversation. I always had answers and knew things about the Bible. And it turns out that her brother's a pastor. But the things that, that we talk about, she never has those conversations with him because, he's not a man of the Lord. And this is a Korean woman. All right. So, we just having these very friendly conversations, and then she'll ask me questions and I'll give her a breakdown. And she's just like, blown away. Then she runs home to, to talk to her husband, and then he wants to talk to me. But nevertheless, all that is being said is because the very subject matter, what you're looking at on the screen, all right, this is a video that was done by Cimmerians yesterday, as far as I know. Well, it popped up in my feed yesterday, but it popped up in my feed after I had this conversation with my client on the same subject matter. And it's crazy how often this brother Cimmerians and myself often go into a lot of the same information in history. And this guy is a great, researcher. He really goes deep. Now, I don't always agree with his spiritual part because he's a Northern Kingdom brother. I forget which tribe he's from, but he's from, South America. And as I've said before, I'm commenting on him. I don't necessarily agree with him spiritually. I don't think he has that. He don't have the truth when it comes to the understanding of the scriptures and the understanding of us. All right. But he definitely knows that we are the Israelites. He definitely knows that the Edomites are posers. And he definitely knows that both the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom are the same people. Same people, different tribes. All right. And I've also heard him use the name of the Lord, the true name. I've heard him say it. All right. So, but it's just, nothing's done by accident. So let me read a scripture before I go any further. Apostle Gabar will get on you. You rant too much without bringing out some scriptures. This is Luke 8 and 17. And it reads, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." All right. And the truth is coming out like a flood, the same way it just flooded all those places and destroyed those towns, mostly sundown towns. All right. Where racist Edomites live. Hey, look, let me grab this too. With this truth coming out itself is a part of the curses that's fallen upon them, because it's shameful spewing on their glory. All right. This is Deuteronomy 30 and 7. And it reads, "Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee." So calamity is befallen Babylon, it's befallen the nation of Edom, and the covering is being removed from them. They're being touched violently in their own in their stolen land. They're being shamed. They're being brought down. All right. And then the truth coming out is a curse unto them and within itself, because the truth is a curse to a people whose entire existence is all based upon lies and people believing in those lies. And they have cognitive dissonance. Hopefully you've already screenshot it. And the name of the video, of course, this is Cootie Merrill's video, is called Swarthy, Definition, Dark Complexion, So-Called Black. Don't practice cognitive dissonance, which is something that's heavy here in America, even among our own people. All right. And my video is going to be called Black, Swarthy, Cimmerian, Nigger, and Brown. Of course, the nigger will be spelled in a way where it will be allowed to be put on the screen. All right. And I'm going to show you some receipts and meaning of those words. But, you know, like I said, I had this conversation with my client describing the Lord and describing, you know, I went into Revelation, I believe it's the 4th chapter, when it talks about the jasper and the sardine stone. I had her Google those and look them up, because she showed me an image of something of Cesare Borgia, or some image that they found. And I said, who is that supposed to be? And she said, well, Jesus Christ. And then I broke down the letter J, and I broke down that that's completely opposite of what the Bible says about him. And, you know, and I read a bunch of scriptures with those descriptions, and she was just like floored. She was like, oh my God, you know, this is, you know, I've never heard that. I said, well, you'll never hear it in a Christian church. You'll never hear it coming from the average so-called white person. But without any further ado, Cootie Merrill.
Definition of Swarthy. But first, I want to read this from the Britannica.com website, because a lot of you guys practice cognitive dissonance when you try to debate me about the word Swarthy. Cognitive dissonance, the mental conflict that occurs when beliefs or assumptions are contradicted by new information. The unease or tension the conflict arouses in people is relieved by one of several defensive maneuvers. Now pay attention. This is what you do. They reject. They try to explain away. They start babbling, right? Or avoid the new information altogether. They just ignore the primary sources and the definitions. They persuade themselves that no conflict really exists. Reconcile the differences, or resort to any other defensive means of preserving stability or order in their conceptions of the world and of themselves. That's what you are doing.
Absolutely 100%. Especially the people that deny the Hebrew Israelites and the message that they bring from the Bible. All right, which this swarthy definition and complexion is a part of, because that's describing the Lord, the angels, the Almighty Father Yahweh himself, our Savior and King Yahweh Shai, and the saints, the holy chosen people, who are the Israelites, which primarily make up the Negro, the Latino, the Native American. And you cannot count out the scattered that are scattered among all heathens. So it isn't a black swarthy thing. All right. It's just giving you the description of what they looked like in the beginning, before they got scattered and mixed in. That's why the Lord is going to come and gather them back up. There is no such thing as mixed. All right. There's no such thing as mixed. All right. When you read, you know, some people read it and they don't understand what they're reading. You know, they don't have reading comprehension. All right. Okay. It's as simple as that. Whatever the seed of the man is, that is what the child is, regardless of what they look like. All right. So the Israelite women that got scattered and had children from heathen, their children are no longer Israel. Point blank, period. But the Israelite men that got scattered and had children with heathen, those children are Israelites. It's through the seed of the father. People have cognitive dissonance when it comes to that. Okay. So I'm going to go into some sources. The Rogers Thesaurus. All right. Then we're going to look up this what else do I have here? Oh yeah, the Simplified Dictionary, 1931 is the Winston Simplified Dictionary, 1931. This book is not a book. This book really is a weapon, man. Encyclopedic edition. So we're going to use that as a source, and then we're going to look up Cimmerians. All right. And how Cimmerian ties in with swarthy and black and brown. All right. And nigger. All right. So we'll start in the source first. So let's go to this source first. All right, the Rogers Thesaurus. Although mine is blue, but it's the same book, and that's what I'm holding in my hand. You know, it's so old, the words have faded. You still can see a little bit of it on the side here. Let me see if I can put a little light on it. Yeah, see, the Rogers Thesaurus. All right, so you can see it's the same book. All right, 1959. The original, it was originally copyrighted in 1931. Man, would I love to have that one, but you know, because they start revising. Revise means they start changing things because they feel like they're exposed. That's why they revise. There's no need to revise a definition when the truth about it has already been spoken. But if it exposes an established narrative, to be a lie, well, then that's a problem. But we're going to go to the word black. All right. And it's on page 63. Okay. I'm going to kind of put it up to the screen. And as I've told you before, you know, they hijacked the word swarthy with the word black. They replaced it because black the word black in front of something makes the word behind it a negative connotation immediately. All right. And so the first definitions of blackness, let's put it on the screen. Okay, page 63. Nouns, blackness, negrescence, nigritude, denigration, darkness. All right. It says fugalnessly, obscurity, lack of light. Those are very strong. What's the word that I'm looking for? That's a diss. I was trying to give you a layman term. All right. So those are very strong insults to call. So basically you're obscure people, lack of light people, negrescence people, nigritude people, denigration people, lividity people, fugalness people, black people. So let's go down a little bit more. Black, to denigrate, nigrify, to blot, smudge. You can put all those before people. All right. That's what they're saying. But let's go a little bit further. Let's go down. And this is where they begin to, what do you see there? You see swarthy. All right. Coal. Does it not say the coaly? So when it's saying it's coaly, it's saying you dark. Sooty. Now hold on. Let me, as if they burned in the furnace. Let me highlight those words. Wait a second. And Cimmerian, which is a part of, in Western Asia, just above what they fraudulently call the Middle East. All right. Coal black, coaly. All right. Just wanted to get those. All right. So there you go. It says black. Look at that. Coal. Coaly. All right. Sooty. Cimmerian. Ooh. Swart and swarthy. Dusky. You hear them, the queens. The Quean queens. Talk about the Duskies or the Dusties. When you call someone your dusty ass, you call them a black. You call them dark. You know, it's an insult. It goes right along there with black. It's an insult. So it's not a positive thing to refer to yourself as black or a black person, because physically no one is actually black. All right. That's why it uses the word swarthy and tawny and brown. We can now let's switch to brown now. The same. Here we go. Page 74. All right. Brown, chocolate, cocoa, tawny, cocoa, copper, mahogany, bronze. All these words, dust colored, brownish, like the dust of the ground. All right. When it says Judah is black unto the ground, they're coaly, they're chocolate, they're dust, they're dusky, they're brownish. All right. Lamentations 4:8. Matter of fact, let me just read those scriptures now that I mentioned them. Now that you've seen those definitions. All right. Let's grab those. Lamentations is one of my favorite because it tells you visage. It makes it clear that when you're looking at them, all right, their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick. It's telling you that they're dark. And this is talking about the tribe of Judah or the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right. Jeremiah 14:2. And these are biblical descriptions of what they look like. This clearly is not, Bibi Milkowski, also known as Netanyahu, the one you saw run into his bunker like a coward yesterday. All right. The way that they're being bombed over there after returning to the land makes it beyond clear that these are not the people of the Lord. All right. Because when Israel returns to the land, there will be peace on earth. But this is Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. They are swarthy. They are brown. They are dusky. They're brownish. You just saw all the definitions. All right. And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. So let's just get some further info. So we've covered swarthy. We've covered brown. We've covered black. Now we have to cover, and we've covered swarthy. Now we're going to cover nigger and Cimmerian. And we'll get a few scriptures and wrap it up. The damage has been done. All right. So what's our first word here? Why do I have to? Oh, Cimmerian. Page 173 in the Winston Simplified Dictionary Encyclopedia Edition with biblical references. There it is. And it says pertaining to an imaginary people. Well, but there was a place called Samaria. So they took a real people and then they created this, that's because that's the people that Conan came from. But we're going to show you a map where these people existed. All right. Pertaining to an imaginary people. Wow. But then if they're imaginary, why do you make them white every time you show them in your man? Wow. All right. Negrito, Negroid. Oh, maybe we'll wait on that one. Let's just go straight to the source first. Cimmerian, Wikipedia. All right. See, reader, it says the Cimmerians, one ancient Eastern Iranian nomadic people originated in the Pontic-Caspian steppe. So this was, in the parts of Asia that they call Europe, just above the so-called Middle East and Western Asia. Oh, it even said it, West Asia. Wow, they even told the truth here. Although the Cimmerians were culturally Scythian, they form an ethnic unit separate from the Scythians proper, to whom the Cimmerians were related, who displaced and replaced Cimmerians. And here's a map. All right. And and I just did a lesson on this yesterday. how the Israelites were returning from Phrygia. Here's Thrace and Greece with the portions of Asia that they call Europe. And as you start coming down, you know, Neo-Assyrian Empire. So the Cimmerians were supposedly up here. This is, I think this is the Black Sea, and this is the Sea of Galilee, I believe. A lake, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me get my map. I don't want to say it wrong. Yeah, I was right. It's the other way around. The other way around. The Black Sea is the one here. Is this one here. This is the Black Sea. And this is the Caspian Sea. So that's leaving West Asia, going up into Northern Asia, heading over toward Eurasia, the part of Asia that they call, and the Cimmerians live right there. And the references, Esau's own references, tell you that they were a dark people, showing you that there's Elam and Babylonian Persians. Everybody in this region were Swarthy. All right, was Swarthy, because it even tells you in that brown definition, tawny. All right, my complexion would be considered tawny. Matter of fact, let's go back to that brown before we move forward. So they lied when, you know, this is imaginary people. But then every time but I've never seen a Conan comic book or story where he's, you know, where he's drawn as a so-called black person. But here, when we go back to brown, and it connects the word brown, brownish, tawny. And you remember what Ben Franklin said, chocolate and tawny, cocoa. As someone who's chocolate or cocoa would be called black. All right. So I hope you're screenshotting that. That's page 74. Bronze. Does not the description of the Lord talks about bronze, copper, brass, the burnished bronze, and some maroon. All right, they called some of the jakes in Jamaica and in the islands maroons. All right, there's also the word moreno is connected. Okay. Now, the last word is Niger, or actually not Niger, but nigger. All right, Niger is an afterthought. When it's written in the Bible, it was actually called nigger, not Niger. And I'm going to prove it yet again. This will be about the 5th time. All right. Because the word nigger, Niger, simply meant someone who's swarthy, who's brown, who's maroon. You know, it didn't have the negative connotation that it has today. All right. That came. I wish I would have put this. I meant to put that part of that scene from American Gods when the god played by Orlando Jones came onto the slave ship and told the Negro slaves, oh y'all black. Oh, y'all don't know y'all black yet. When these Dutch motherfuckers decide to call you black and call themselves white, you see, they made all that up. Black and white are social constructs. And black, like I said, because if you just said swarthy, you know that it's talking about skin complexion. But when it's black, it's a way to shame someone, a way to discredit someone, a way to diss someone, a way to insult someone without them even knowing it, because you've conditioned them to believe that they're black people, and that it's talking about complexion, and it's not necessarily talking about complexion. It's talking about the condition. All right, as we read, it's very negative. You know, immoral, without light, churlish, and all these other insults. But let's put this. And this is on page 657 in the Winston Simplified Dictionary Encyclopedic Edition, page 657. The definition of nigger. All right, and we're gonna start, and you can see niggard, niggardly, and then nigger, and look how the phonetic spelling is. Niger, the same way in the Bible when they'll say Niger, but it's actually pronounced nigger. All right, it's actually pronounced nigger. Then it's got negro. All right. Negre, dark. Now usually a contemptuous or vulgar term. All right. Any dark-skinned person, adjective prevailing among or as a characteristic of American Negroes. And why? Because they were the ones, remember when he came, when the character of Orlando Jones came onto the ship to talk to the slaves, he said, oh, y'all don't know y'all black. Now y'all black. When these Dutch motherfuckers decide to call y'all black and call themselves white, man, he played the hell out the role. And for those of you who don't know, he got fired after that because that was an ad lib. All right. I guess that wasn't in the script, but they put it in the show anyway. So, you know, cognitive dissonance is a horrible thing. All right. It's a hell of a drug. So let's get some scriptures now and wrap this up. Get a few more scriptures. This is Acts 13 and 1. It says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, which were called nigger. Some will say niger. All right. Some will say nigger. Same word. But we just saw the phonetic spelling in the origin of the word. And they were called nigger because it wasn't a negative term. It didn't have the negative connotation. It was just describing that they were Cimmerian-like as far as complexion was concerned. See, the people in Western Asia, in West Asia. All right, let's click off that map and go back. Well, it won't let me go back. Interesting. Wow, won't let me. But anyway, you saw it. Oh, well, that's good. It's actually saying it at the bottom of the screen. Call hello. The Cimmerians migration across West Asia. Don't say the Middle East. Don't say the Middle East. Doesn't say the Middle East. The migration across West Asia. All right. May have to change the name to the niggers of West Asia. All right. Because everybody there was swarthy. All right. But it says now, Acts 13 and 1, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, which was called nigger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manon, and which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. Okay. Let's go to Daniel. I was going to get wool. All right. That was another word that I needed to put in there. But this is Daniel 7 and 9. And it says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, whose hair and head was like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame and the wheels of fire. So when it talks about wool, it's literally talking about those swarthy Negroes, those swarthy niggers' hair. And this is a description that is given you of the mighty Father himself. All right. Daniel 10 and 6. All right. It says his body was also like the beryl. We know he wasn't green. That's why they try to make him green. The aliens, talking about the angels and the heavenly people, you know, and they make them big round heads. It's the afros. You see the hijack? The same way that you got, you know, they hijacked the word Israelite and they threw that J-ish word in there, or the J word. All right. This is what they do. So they replace swarthy with black and replace J-ish. They replace the Israelite with J-ish. Said then Daniel 10 and 6. His body was like the beryl, his face as the appearance of light, and his eyes as lamps of fire, his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. Right? We already read about brass and bronze. All right? Chocolate, cocoa. All right? And the voice of his words were like the voice of a multitude. All right? Now let's go to wool. Last word. Lord brought it full circle. Here we go. And I highlighted the bottom for you. Whoa. Gave you all the definitions, but look at the bottom one. The kinky hair of Negroes, those Cimmerians, those niggers. All right. It all came from Western Asia. Kohalo, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash, Kwam Yasharala, Abad Babal.